Hi, and welcome to Ivy League Analytical English. I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is 7/11, and we're on page 35 of the magazine. The article today is entitled The Chocolate Hills of Bohol. And I'm thinking, chocolate hills? I'm there. Are they edible? Can I have them?
所以我们这个文章的标题很吸引人啊，它巨人级甜点菲律宾巧克力山。
So let's read about these chocolate hills. I'm sure they're not actually edible, but a woman can dream. The Philippines offers a vast treasure trove of tourist delights, and among them are the chocolate hills on the island of Bohol. It's a unique landscape consisting of between 1,200 and 1,700 cone-shaped hills. Averaging just 30 to 50 meters high, they are scattered within a 50-square-kilometer area. During the dry season, their surreal beauty is enhanced when the hills change color from green to brown, making them look like giant mounds of chocolate. No trees or clumps of vegetation grow on them, and the rice and corn farming in the surrounding land provides a beautiful green backdrop. The highly popular attraction gives a significant boost to tourism on the island and serves as a geological curiosity. In a culture fond of legend and myth, there are competing explanations of how the chocolate hills came to be. One legend claimed the landscape was created by giant children pretending to bake cakes from mud and sand in the heat of the sun, molding them in giant half-coconut shells. More romantic audiences prefer the legend of the young handsome giant, Arago. He fell in love with a mortal, and upon her death, Arago's giant teardrops formed the chocolate hills. Most geologists believe the chocolate hills resulted from marine limestone, sustaining thousands of years of weathering. Other possible theories include the uplifting of coral deposits from below the Earth's surface. Some experts argue that the cone-shaped hills were produced by sea eruptions in a massive geological shift, coupled with rain and erosion over the past 1,000 years. No matter how they got there, the chocolate hills in Bohol are a fascinating and unique addition to the scenery. Well, you know, I love a good article about geology. I'm kind of a geology fiend. I like this sort of thing. But I kind of wish there was a better answer about why they're there, because that's half the fun of geology, is knowing what particular geological forces created a thing. But so it's not quite satisfying that they don't have a definitive answer.
Well, that's life.
Oh, come on. That's why we have science, so that at least some of the mysteries of life can be known.
Yeah, some.
Some. I want this one to be known, okay? Fine.
Okay.
So the Philippines offer a vast treasure trove of tourist delights. If something is vast, it's super huge, it's enormous. There's many things in it. And a treasure trove is like a collection of treasure, like dragons have troves, kings have troves. I wish you could say that museums have troves, but you can't say that except ironically, because a trove is something more story-like. You know, it's like in legend or something like this. It's not for modern days. But it's a vast treasure trove of tourist delights. A tourist delight is a sort of more romantic way of saying things that tourists will be interested in. And that is a very good way to describe the Philippines, because the Philippines is, first of all, a collection of islands. It's a treasure trove of islands. They've got so many islands, and it's really beautiful. I've never been. I've only seen pictures, but I always see these pictures of various islands in the Philippines, and I'm like, wow, gorgeous, just gorgeous. Yeah. And so one of the things that are gorgeous in the Philippines, among these things among the treasure trove, are the chocolate hills on the island of Bohol.
好，所以我们看到这个句子，他说这个菲律宾呢 offers 提供a vast 就是 very great in size 就是或者是 extent 或者 quantity 所以它提供一个很庞大的一个 treasure trove 就是一个宝藏的意思trove 就是一个宝藏的意思那这个所以它有很多的宝藏，什么的宝藏呢这个 of tourist delights 就是旅游的一些乐趣那 delights 就是会让你觉得很赏心悦目、很快乐的事情啊。所以换句话说，这个菲律宾有很多旅游上面呢，会让大家觉得这个很喜欢去的地方。And among them 啊，那在这些地方之中呢，有一个地方叫做就是这个巧克力山啊，它是在 the island of Bohol。It's
a unique landscape, the island of Bohol, and the landscape consists of, let's see, I've changed the grammar of the sentence. Let me go back. It's a unique landscape consisting of between 1,200 and 1,700 cone-shaped hills. You could also say, if there was no comma there, you could say between 1,200 and 1,700 cone-shaped hills, or between 12 and 1,700 cone-shaped hills. That would be, if there's no comma, we like to pronounce a number like that, saying 1,200 or 1,700, because it's easier than saying 1,200 or 1,700.
好，所以这因为有这个1200跟1700，因为有一个逗点哈，所以这个你会把它通常会1200这样念出来。如果这个数字上没有逗点的话呢，很可能就直接念1200或者是1700。好，那我们回来看看这个句子哈，他说这是一个 unique 就是独一无二的啊，那个 landscape 就是一个景观，那 consisting of 就是它由什么什么来组成啊。那这里它是用 consisting， 因为这个字它如果不用分词的时候，它原来的句子是 it consists of 啊，所以把它变成分词构句的时候呢，我们就直接在那 consist 加 ing 啊。所以它由什么组成呢？由大概1200到1700之间的这个 cone-shaped 就是锥形的这个 hills 山丘啊。那为什么大家搞不太清楚呢？这个可能是因为从来没有点清楚，或者是也许还在不断的变化。
Averaging just 30 to 50 meters high, so the hills are between 30 to 50 meters high on average, so usually or about. The hills, are scattered within a 50 square kilometer area. So this description to say that they're scattered within an area, what that means is that in between the hills there's flat. It's not like this 50 square kilometer area is all hilly. There's like, imagine a flat plain with a bunch of hills kind of thrown on there randomly. That's what this word scattered means. So this is a good description.
Yeah. 好，这个 averaging 在这里它是一个分词构句那它的意思还是一样，就是平均。所以平均呢大概只有30到50公尺高那 they are scattered 他们散布在那这个 scatter 就是这个散布的意思。那既然讲是散布的话，表示说这一块区域呢不是说全部都是山它也有一些地方比较平那这些这个像锥形的这种小山丘，在这个等于说在这个区域是好像冒出来那种感觉。所以 they are scattered within 在一个50平方公里的 area 区域之间他们散布在这里。
You know, it kind of bothers me that in Chinese that you guys just say shan and xiaoshan. Because for me, there's a huge distinction between a mountain and a hill. A mountain is scary, wild, and forbidding, and a hill is pleasing and domestic and round and joyful. Like, for me, there's a huge mental feeling difference between these two words.
所以中文的那个山，大山、小山就是都是山但是在英文里面呢，这个 mountain 跟 hill 他们感觉起来差别很大。mountain 感觉是大山那这个尤其对女生来讲或可能会觉得哇有点恐怖山里面不知道什么东西但是呢 hills 感觉起来是非常的这个很亲近的平易近人的可以上去散步可以上去溜达的那个叫做 hills
Like the sound of music. The hills are alive.
Oh, yeah.
Like that kind of feeling.
所以呢感觉很舒服这个很幸福那种感觉所以这个中文跟英文在这一点上是有蛮大差异的。同样是中文都叫做山。Yeah.
That's because China is just all mountains. Like
maybe
that's what I feel, anyways.
Or maybe we have a natural affinity to mountains.
Okay, fair enough. So during the dry season, so the dry season and the wet season. The dry season is when the rains don't come, and the wet season is when they do. During the dry season, their surreal beauty, the kind of unreal quality that's beautiful about these mountains is enhanced. It's even more unreal and beautiful when the hills change color from green to brown. So they go brown during the dry season, and this is what makes them look like giant mounds of chocolate.
Yeah. 好，所以在干季期间during the dry season they are surreal 就是这个超现实主义的这种美所以 所谓 surreal 在这里其实意思就是超现实的美，你会觉得说这个不是这个世界上看得到的，这看起来很美的好像假的一样那样子的美那 is enhanced enhance 就是增加这个或者 to improve 或者是 augment 把它变大这个 augment 这个字顺便学一下也不错，这个把它变大的意思 augment 那所以它的美就被增加了。当这个山呢它们改变颜色从绿色的山变成了棕色的山所以呢让它们看起来就好像是巨大的 giant mounds 就是土堆，那好像在这里就一堆一堆的，看起来像一堆一堆巨大的巧克力一样。
So no trees or clumps of vegetation grow on them. A clump of vegetation is like, imagine like a bunch of grass growing together, but like the grass around it is shorter. We would call that a clump of grass. A clump of earth, on the other hand, would be just like when soil gets dry and you can pick up a piece of it, that would be a clump of earth. So even though we're saying clump, the same word, a clump of grass is like a bunch of grass, whereas a clump of soil would be like a square of soil.
好，所以这个 clump 这个字呢，基本上就是一团的意思那如果是指泥土的话，就是一团一块那个泥土，硬一点的泥土。那如果是指草的话呢，或者是 vegetation 这个植物的话呢，就是这个就是
Could be like a bundle or something.
Yeah, 也可以说是一束或者是一团，也基本上还是团的意思，就是那里有一把一团或者是一些一群一块这样的一个植物。所以这个地方讲到说没有树也没有任何的 vegetation vegetation 就是植物啦通常是某个地区的一个植物。Yeah.
And so the rice and corn farming in the surrounding lands, the flat fields, provide a beautiful green backdrop. So there must be quite a contrast.
好，那然后所以呢，我们也看到这个它这些这个小山丘上没有任何的植物然后呢，这个没有植物，然后它的这个 rice and corn 稻米还有玉米 farming 就是在这里就指栽种的行为或者栽种的事实那在这个 surrounding land它周围的土地呢却有稻米有玉米所以这样子这个产生了一个很美丽的一个 backdrop 就是 background 所以它的这个周围的土地种的稻米种的玉米那是一个提供了一个很漂亮的绿色的背景。那在这绿色的背景这个上面呢，我们或者前面呢，我们看到这些小山丘上面是没有任何的没有什么植物的。
The highly popular attraction, an attraction is a thing that attracts people. And so this is highly popular. A lot of people come to look at these chocolate hills. And this gives a significant boost to tourism on the island. It gives, if something boosts tourism, it increases it. And it serves as a geological curiosity. A curiosity is a thing that makes people curious.
好，所以这一个 highly popular 非常受欢迎的 attraction 在这里就是这个 tourist attraction 一个景点那这个它怎么样呢 gives a significant boost boost 就是推动或者提升。那如果说是一个 significant boost to tourism 的话，就是它对这个观光大有注意它给这观光给它推了一把让它这个观光非常的可以说是非常的发达On the island 这个岛上的观光因为这样子很发达，而且呢这个景点呢 serves as 它可以作为一个 geological 这个地理上面的一个 curiosity 就是一个奇景。 curiosity 在这里是一个something that arouses interest 那主要是因为它是可能很新奇，可能是 extraordinary。
So in a culture fond of legend and myth, in a culture where people like to tell stories a lot, there are competing explanations. There's more than one explanation of how the chocolate hills came to be, why they are the way they are.
好，那在这样一个文化，这个文化怎么样 ？Fond of 很喜欢 legend 跟 myth 很喜欢传奇，很喜欢这种这个神话的这样的一个神话的文化里面呢有 competing 就是各有优点各有一些这个迷人之处的一些 explanations 一些解释说这些巧克力山是如何的 came to be 就如何形成。
One's legend claims the landscape was created by giant children. Maybe they were Arago's children. And they were pretending to bake cakes from mud and sand in the heat of the sun and they were molding them in giant half coconut shells, which is such the behavior of children on a beach that you can definitely see this as a story.
好，那 legend claims 宣称说这个 landscape 这个景观呢是被谁所 被 created 呢，被这些这个一些巨人的小孩啊 pretending to 他们在假装在烤蛋糕啊 bake cakes。那这个蛋糕怎么样 ？From 他们是用泥土 mud 跟 sand 沙子啊，然后堆成这个像蛋糕的一样，他们在假装在烤蛋糕。所谓假装烤蛋糕，就类似我们讲可能在办家酒，他们在玩啊，那就这个是蛋糕，对吧？弄一弄这样子。那 in the heat of the sun 就是在高热的太阳底下，在太阳的高热之下。好，然后呢 molding them mold 在这里就是让它定型塑形啊，他怎么样？这些小孩子怎么样把这个泥土跟沙子做成那个造型呢？做成像这个小山的造型呢？他们用的是 giant， 用的很巨大的 half coconut， 就是一半的椰子壳啊，所以他们有那个很大的椰子啊，那他们弄一半那个巨大的椰子壳，那这些巨人小孩就把这个泥土啊沙子弄到这椰子壳里面做造型，所以做出来是这样一个一个的巧克力山。
More romantic audiences prefer the legend of the young, handsome giant Arago.
那比较这个浪漫的一些听众呢，比较喜欢听的是 The Legend of 这个传奇，这个传奇是这个很年轻、很帅的巨人啊，叫 Arago.
He fell in love with a mortal. A mortal is someone who can die, as opposed to a god who is immortal. And upon her death, Arago's giant teardrops formed the chocolate hills. That is a sweet story.
Yeah, 他爱上那个 mortal 这个字原来的意思是会死的啊，那在这里就指一个人类哈。那个，所以他这个人是会死的，但这个巨人啊，他不是 mortal 啊，所以呢，在这个他爱上了这个女人死的时候呢，死掉之后，他的巨大的眼泪就形成了这些巧克力山。
Now, most geologists believe the chocolate hills resulted from marine limestone sustaining thousands of years of weathering. Okay, sustaining usually means it's helping something live, but sustaining can also mean withstanding. And in this case, it's withstanding thousands of years of weathering. Weathering is when weather, like rain and wind and snow, acts upon things like wood or stone. Weathered stone is stone that has been washed with hundreds of years of rain and has started to get the surface has begun to wear down. So these limestone hills have sustained or withstood or been under kind of a barrage of thousands of years of rain and wind, which carved them into this shape.
好，所以大多数的地理学家呢认为believe 他们相信，他们认为这个巧克力山呢 resulted from 是来自于marine limestone， 就是海洋的石灰岩sustain 这个字在这里是这个承受 withstand 的意思to bear up under something 的意思他们承受了这个 thousands of years of weathering 数千年的 weathering 这个字呢，原来这字面上的意思就是风吹雨淋数千年的风吹雨淋。不过 weathering 这个字呢，在中文通常很多时候是直接把它翻成所谓的风化这些风化的结果就造成了这个巧克力山但风化其实不只是山不只是风的作用而已。
Other possible theories include the uplifting of coral deposits from below the Earth's surface. So you know how because of volcanic activity and everything else, the land can rise and fall. So they think that maybe coral, which is made by animals actually, it's the skeletons of animals built up over time. So maybe this was living in the ocean for a while, and then it built up, and then was lifted up into the air for some reason. And that was the beginning of these mountains, and then they weathered into this shape.
Yeah, 那其他可能的理论呢，包括the uplifting 这里就指抬升的意思，往上抬，往上升什么东西的抬升呢？ Coral deposits 就是珊瑚的沉积物的抬升从哪里抬升出来呢？ From below the Earth's surface 从地表底下抬升起来就形成了这些东西。
And some experts argue that the cone-shaped hills were produced by sea eruptions. And this is actually the one that makes most sense to me because usually anything that's cone-shaped was developed from things like a spout of something pushing material up, right? Which is why volcanoes are universally cone-shaped. But they're not saying that they were produced by necessarily lava. It could be sea eruptions. It could be water being pushed up carrying sediments that then settled down. So that's what a sea eruption, I think, could be, although, to be honest, I'm not entirely clear what they mean by that. But anyways, any kind of eruption has to happen when there's a geological shift, when land is moving, when great pieces of land are moving. So a massive geological shift might have caused stuff to erupt through holes in the grounds in where those hills were, well, where the hills are now. And then coupled with, going along with rain and erosion over the past 1,000 years. So in this scenario, there's still erosion of the hills going on.
好，所以这个他这里讲到说，有一些专家argue 就他们主张argue 在这里主张不是吵架的意思，是主张。他们主张说呢，这些 cone-shaped 这些锥形的山呢，是由什么造成的呢？由这个 sea eruptions， 就是海洋的喷发爆发啊。因为事实上，如果说海洋它那喷出来，然后呢那个水下去了，可是它可能喷出来造成的孔洞的形状大概就会是锥形的，它可能有一些东西还是留在地面上面啊，那就是个锥形的。因为很多锥形的东西其实都是跟喷发有关啊，所以他说由这个海洋的喷发啊，那是怎么样喷发呢？是这个大规模的 massive 的一个geological shift， 一个地质的移动啊期间一个大喷发造成的。那 coupled with 就是 joined with， 同时还有什么呢？他们同时还搭配了什么呢？搭配了 rain 雨水，还有 erosion 就是侵蚀 over the past 1,000 years 过去几千年来雨水的侵蚀等等的。那这些因素加起来造成的这些巧克力山。
Anyways, no matter how they got there, regardless of their story, the chocolate hills in Bohol are a fascinating and unique addition to the scenery, which is a fancy way of saying they're well worth seeing.
Yeah, 好，所以呢，这个无论他们是怎么样跑到这里来的，那这些山，这些这个 Bohol 的这些巧克力山呢，是 fascinating， 他们是很迷人的，而且是一个 unique addition， 是一个独一无二的添加addition 就添加啊，添加到这个景色上面，也就是他们为景色为这风景添加了很漂亮的一些这个元素。
Even though this kind of story isn't the most exciting story because there's like not this major drama behind it, I really like this kind of story because it gives us a chance to explore different kinds of English. Here we got to explore all kinds of interesting words like clump to describe, there's words that we need to describe the world that don't come up in regular movie drama type stories.
好，所以这个今天这篇文章它的这个主题比较跟其他文章不一样啊，我们正好有个机会可以接触到不同的 vocabulary， 好，这蛮好的一个练习。
We have some questions here for you. Number one is, where would this reading most likely appear?
这篇文章最可能出现在哪里呢？
I imagine A, on a website promoting Philippine tourism.
好，它最可能出现在一个推广菲律宾旅游的网站上面。
And number two, how many chocolate hills exist in Bohol?
保和岛上有多少个巧克力山呢？
The answer is B, between 1,200 and 1,700. I guess different people count them differently.
Yeah, 大概有1200到1700之间哈，因为可能数法不一样，或者是这个
Or nobody really has the patience to count them.
Yeah, 也许没有人真的慢慢在数到完 Yeah.
And number three, which of the following features is shared by all of the legends about the origin of the chocolate hills of Bohol described in the reading?
本文叙述的以下何种关于保和岛巧克力山起源的特色是所有的传说共有的？
The answer is D. Giants participated in their formation. So it doesn't matter the story, it was always giants.
答案是 D 啊，是巨人参与了他们的形成啊，因为他这里提到几个故事都跟巨人有关。
And number four, which of the following is true regarding the geological theories behind the origin of the chocolate hills of Bohol?
关于保和岛巧克力山起源背后的地质理论，下列哪一项是正确的？
The answer is C. Most experts agree on how they were formed.
大多数的专家对他们如何形成的意见是一致的。
So hope you'll join us again tomorrow for more Ivy League Analytical English. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.